Live on Facebook and YouTube.
What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube?
Hello, everyone.
Demetra, what's going on?
And we are live on Instagram.
What is up, Instagram? Always taking forever. We're going to give everyone about 10 seconds to hop in before I introduce you, Demetra.
Sure.
But tell me what's going on today.
Nothing. I'm super excited to be here. This is probably one of my first times live like this, talking to someone. I'm very lucky to be here. I love Nick.
Beautiful.
So I'm just pumped.
All right, yeah, I'm excited too because I want to get caught up with what's going on. We haven't talked in a little bit, and you always have exciting news. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm live with Demetra, the owner of Malia. Did I mess that up?
Nope, that was good.
Beautiful hair. Tacanas.
Kala, kala.
All right. So first, let's take us through how you started the hair brand, what's involved with it, what inspired you to start one. Then we'll jump into salon ownership and how you kind of jumped from salon owner to full-blown entrepreneur, started a hair company, and then we're going to go to right now. So take me through it.
So I feel like I was using another brand. I was in love with this brand. Long story short, it started becoming more of a hassle. Customer service just wasn't there like I needed. There was things in the WEF that just didn't make sense. So I ended up taking matters into my own hands. I decided to reach out to a bunch of different manufacturers. A lot of money later, it cost me about $30,000 in order for me to be able to nail and hammer down what I really wanted. Where wasn't I okay with these WEFs? And I finally found a manufacturer and started doing this more within my own salon. I wasn't ever planning on being a distributor or anything like that. And it got to the point where a lot of hairstylists were reaching out to me and they're like, what are you doing? What is this? How are you growing so fast? And after about the 10th person, I was like, you know what? I think I might be onto something. So I ended up starting, to do my online education. And I, luckily enough, went viral with Behind the Chair.
Nice.
And it completely changed my life.
So you were doing hair for how long though before you got into extensions? Or not your own brand, I should say.
My own brand, probably about 2 years. 2 years. I was really practicing. I am certified in every brand, every method. I was always an extension artist, since I can
And then doing hair
remember.
for how long though?
23 years total.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I wanted to get at. Because a lot of people, they start doing hair, they get to extensions, they've been doing hair for a year and a half, then they try and start a hair brand and it crumbles because they don't have enough experience in the industry, let alone life, to actually take it to the next step or even give it a little traction. What was the emotion, the feeling that first 30,000? Because you have a salon, you have bills, you're a mom, right? You have a mortgage, and to shell out another 30K for something that may or may not work, that's a big risk.
Absolutely. First, I hired you as my business coach. Let's just start there. First, I had to make sure that I had my salon under control. I think that was, once I started getting more comfortable with that, was when I really felt more comfortable to start the next step. So it definitely didn't happen overnight. I still, to this day, as you know, I have questions. I'm not perfect. I love the journey though in growing. So it was scary, very scary. My husband thought I was insane. He was like, we just spent this much money on the salon. But I really believed in it, and I really felt like there was something missing in the industry where this could fill. And the difference is that my method is something that is very unique. It's a 15-minute per row, no glue, no tape. You can triple your income within 2 months because of how fast, simple. And another amazing part about it is, if anybody has hand issues, I have hand issues. It's embarrassing. I never talk about it, meaning my carpal tunnel, I can't do push-ups anymore just from being in this industry. So this is something, if you have shoulder problems, arm issues, hand issues, it really can help a stylist.
I'm happy you said it's fast. And this is one thing I want to talk about because a lot of people listen for business too. So many people get paralyzed from decision making. And in reality, you just have to take action. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to work the first time. And the one compliment to you is you have the idea and you took action on it and you move fast and you solve the problem for a lot of people. People look at extensions because they don't want to sit in a chair for an hour and a half just to get like the first row put in. And then they get antsy and they're like, all right, I don't want any more hair. It's like a 4-hour process for some people. The fact that you could
Right.
do it in like 15 minutes,
Right.
that's
And it's
huge.
15 minutes of like clean. Like a lot of people like are like, oh, well, you can do this in an hour to an hour and a half. And you check their work and their work is not clean. It's not good for the scalp. So it's not always just about fastness. Like this is, you can do it fast,
And efficient.
but there's a method and concept behind it in order to be able to be like perfect, but you can. The first time people are doing it right now, especially, you know, teaching and educating across the country is I think that I have people time it. It's about 30 minutes the first time you're doing this per row, but 30 minutes is still
For new,
so much
someone new.
faster for someone new. Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
Yeah, a
I
lot of
think
people don't like the sewing. Like all the people I speak to, they're just not coordinated enough. They don't feel like doing it. It never lays right. That's always an issue.
right with the flaps on the end, and
Yes.
it's time consuming. And for me, I am not that kind of person that is like, oh, let's crochet. I'm not. So there are the people that love it, and I love them for doing that. But for me, I can't do it.
I think it's the evolution of where it's going, though. Like
Yeah.
people don't want to spend that long in the chair, but they also want flexibility. So you can take these in and out relatively quickly too, and you could have it
Right.
as an accessory. So if you're just a girl who wants to have hair for the weekend, you could stop in your salon, throw it in on a Thursday, rock out till Sunday, take them out on Monday, and you're good.
Exactly. That is what's so great for brides. Like how many times I've heard, oh, my bride gets their hair on Amazon. This is something for if you have a bridal business or you do brides, you can 15 minutes the morning of the wedding and they get extensions and now you make a profit off of the hair, not Amazon.
So
Huge.
I want to bring up the profit you just talked about and how
Sure.
fast it is and how efficient it is. I'm not going to say her name. You could say her name. You have a stylist on your team. If anyone follows you on Instagram, they see her. She's like this big, but she is a newer stylist in your salons, correct? Probably a
Yeah.
couple of years now, though. Came to you with pretty much no book. She followed your leadership, and within maybe a year, she's
9 months.
9 months blew her business up off the back of these extensions. So if you have younger stylists on your team and they may not, well, she's definitely skilled, but if they don't want to sew or they just need something to help build them up to differentiate them from the rest of the people, this helped one of your stylists. Take us through that journey of her, how you led her. You could shout her out too. Can I tell your name?
Oh, of course.
Bree. All
Absolutely.
right, so Bree. And I met her, I think on the phone a while ago.
The
And
first
super
time.
adorable. Yeah. And then I met her down
Yeah.
in South Carolina, and she's just a powerhouse. Like great personality, and she wants it. She's hungry. She has everything you would want in a stylist that's on your team. Takes direction
Absolutely.
well. But take us through that journey with her.
She came to me about 9 months ago, and she, you know, just like a lot of other stylists, they want to be that person on social media. They want to be able to be an all over extension artist and only do extensions because the money is higher. So when she came to me, this is what she said to me. And I said, listen, there's steps that we have to take in order to be able to do that. You need to trust me. And she put all the trust in me. And it started with scalp treatments. I ran this ad for her. It was all on scalp treatments. And I said, you need to trust the process. And she would get, you know, and the scalp treatment was like $50. She's like, this isn't what I wanted. I said, I told you need to trust me. They started coming in. I said, this is exactly what your consultation is going to sound like, word for word. This is what you're going to do. And it's going to start happening. They would come in, they would get a scalp treatment and a blowout, and they would walk out with extensions. Why? Because it's $15. 15 minutes. And the best part is you can have these extensions as a luxury brand or for a brand where you just want people to have that taste for extensions to move on to the bigger stuff. So she started doing it 9 months later. All she's doing is extensions morning, noon, and night. Girl brings in over 5K a week. Easy. Just doing
That's phenomenal.
extensions in 9 months. So started with these, and now she got everybody to get that like flavor, that taste. And here we are. She's now upgrading to Genius Wefts. Her retail sales, because I just said her quarterlies, her retail sales in 3 months were $19,000. So
So
if y'all want a Brie, get yourselves a Brie, because that girl, she says, I say, you got it.
So I hear this all the time with owners. They're like, my team doesn't sell retail. My team doesn't, they're not hungry. They don't do this. They don't do that. What are you doing as an owner? See, I always say you build the team and the team builds the business.
Mhm.
And that's all you need to do is build them. That enabled you to have the freedom to get out from behind the chair full time
Right.
and actually grow another brand, which is your personal economy. That's
Right.
essentially what it is. Because you can't do hair
Exactly.
forever.
No, I can't even believe. Remember when I first started with you? I'm like, I'm working behind the chair 5 days a week. You're like, you will not be. And I thought you were crazy. First of all, you all need to hire a Nick. Let's just start right there. You had come up with how to really sell the retail, and it's all in your consultation. It's all a strategy. If you don't have strategy, structure, you know, you're never going to do it. It's to the point now where my salon is being ran by my 2 management and my team, because I was able to work with you, create my structure, and now I'm not working behind the chair. I don't have to deal with my salon. I check in the quarterlies. Anybody needs me, they'll just text me, but I don't even get those messages anymore.
That's awesome. That's called the replacement ladder. You
It's
build each part of
insane.
your business, you replace yourself. But what you did is what you should be doing. I had a consultation with somebody yesterday about coaching, and she was excited to get all this free time back and sit on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to help your salon.
No.
You buy your time back to work on your business and grow it. If you go to the beach and drink margaritas, your salon's probably going to crumble.
Yeah.
Or you open something else up. You use that time wisely, and then you create an empire for yourself that you never have to retire from.
I work more than ever now, but the difference is that this journey that I'm on, I'm so obsessed with it. And I had met with this really, really big guy in the hair industry. And he looked at me, and he works with very big brands of extensions. And he said, what is like your plan? Like, where do you want this to go? Do you want to sell your extension brand one day? Like, what are you doing? And I said to him, I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't know. I don't want to know. For the first time in my life, I am enjoying a journey because it's new to me, and I'm creating something, and I'm getting to like listen to hairstylists of what they want and they need. And it's a journey that I don't know when I want it to end. I don't know if it's going to end. I don't know if I'm going to just stay boutique like. It just depends, you know?
Yeah. You want to know why you're successful?
Why?
You built a businessman before the business plan. So many people sit here and make this business plan. It's elaborate. They put in every detail, trying to figure it all out, and they never get started. You just said, fuck it. I'm going to get started. But you built yourself first. You hired the coaches, you did the homework, you had the experience, and you actually took massive action. That's why it happened.
Yeah.
You just
And I
moved.
could cry like you
Yeah.
saying that, because people thought I was insane to spend the money that I did on business coaches, because they're like, you own a business. What do you mean? But I didn't own a business. I was going through the process. I had nothing in line. I was making all of this money, and it was gone. And not only that, my business ran me. I didn't run my business. And I think that working with a coach and coaches, because I had multiple, I got something out of every single one. And it really has created and molded me into who I am today. And like, I would never change that. Yeah, it's expensive. You think it's insane when somebody tells you, oh, I need $15,000 from you, to be able to teach you, but you don't even have $15,000 in your account. But let me tell you, if you work with the coach, you will get it back so much faster.
Depends on the coach, but you're 100% right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You
for
hired
sure.
some amazing coaches.
Yes.
This is so true. So many people want to be a professional, but they don't act like it. What do professional athletes do? The Olympic athletes. Imagine someone showed up at the Olympics without a coach, strength conditioning, nutrition coach, a gymnastics coach. You wouldn't do it. Every professional on any level has a coach. You sing, you have a voice coach. You're an actor, you have an acting coach. You're in business. People think they should know business. No, get a business coach. Get a coach to help you with something, social media, accounting, leadership, wherever you feel you're weak at. And that's what you did. You plugged every single hole you had in your business bucket with a different coach to get you where you needed to go. And now it's overflowing. And so people say, wow, that's a lot of money. Well, it seems like a lot of money now, but wait till you see what that brings to you, how it changes your business. So I think it's
Exactly.
amazing you did that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's definitely necessary. And you know what? I never thought about it and how you just broke that down, that everybody has a coach. Even a coach has a coach.
Yeah.
But if you can just get and learn one thing from every single coach or anybody out there, like we go to hair school, we don't get business coaching. So we get out of high school, we go straight into doing hair, and then we think we can go and rent a chair, but we have no idea. So we have this cash flow coming in. We're like, oh my God, we're so rich. We don't keep expense sheets. We don't know what we're doing. We're just getting a bunch of cash. And then tax season comes and we're totally screwed.
But you have no idea. People focus on revenue. I did it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes,
Me
I have $1
too.
million salon. And then my wife's like, where the fuck's the money?
Where's the money? Yeah.
I don't know. I know $1 million salon though. And so we run business with ego, not with our brains. And unfortunately, we don't even have the proper thought structure to run a business or a company until someone teaches you, or you make enough mistakes that you finally figure it out if you don't go bankrupt or just wind up closing your doors. So
Right.
it's super important that you find somebody, and you don't have to pay for them if you're jammed up right now. YouTube, podcast, books, like just put the time in. The reason why you hire a coach though, or a mentor, is because it might take you 5 years of reading books, and you time collapse that journey into 3 months with a coach. And so that's why you pay for that.
Time is money.
Think about it. Imagine you never hired anybody. You'd still be trying to figure it out. But now you hired people, you figured it out. And all that money you're making now is going to compound year after year after year. And where
Yeah.
your business will be in 10 years from now is going to be so much greater than where it would have been if you never hired anybody.
Well, I wouldn't be in the situation of owning a hair extension line as a distributor across the country and now possibly going worldwide. It would have never have happened. Why? Because I wouldn't have been able to even get my salon under control. It wouldn't have given my husband the trust in me to understand how to run a proper business, to be able to be like, yeah, here you go. Here's the money to be able to do the extension stuff. Everything plays a role. And it's like, I think the biggest problem with hairdressers is ego. It's okay to ask for help. You are not perfect. You are a hairstylist. You are an artist. I understand that. But in order to run a proper business, if there is no structure, you can't, you're always going to be, it's like a rotating cycle.
Streams of income are important, but you need one stream of income first.
Right?
If you have a broken first stream, any stream after that's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's just not.
I
And
was
you could
broken.
try.
That's why I was broken. Like, I've been working with you for almost a year now. Like, look at the Demetra a year ago compared to where I am now.
Oh my God, it's
I
insane.
still can't believe it. Like, I was on the phone with you, 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. But you gotta put the work. It takes work. I'm not sitting on a beach having margaritas literally 7 days a week. I'm traveling. I have 2 kids. I'm a mom of a 2 and a 4-year-old. I'm a wife.
All right, so I want to talk about this for a second because we spoke, it was probably a few months ago, and there was a challenge going on in your life. And it was, you're a mom, you're a wife. Hire someone to manage your house.
Oh yeah,
Guys, you business women out there who also have the role to be mom, you don't have to do laundry. The role of mom in the house is meant to, take care of your kids and your husband and everything else, but you don't got to clean the house. You know what the shit you think you have to do that gives you that ranking of a wife or a mom? Outsource that shit. When you buy back your time and you want to replace yourself, don't just think your business.
Yeah.
Think the low-hanging fruit. Don't spend 4 hours doing laundry. That's ridiculous. Hire someone to clean your house. Hire someone to help you out with the stuff you have to do around the house so you can stay at the salon and make more money. That's just...
And it does sound crazy because when you said that to me, I'm like, Nick, I'm not hiring. But the hours now that I have my girl Soph, the hours that she does it, I'm putting back into my business and I'm making 2 to 3 times more money than when I would be at home doing I don't want to do laundry. I'm like, Nick, I'm to the point where I don't feel like I should be doing that. And he's like, so just hire someone. And then I did. And I'm like, why didn't I do this a year ago?
One of my coaches
So
doesn't
true.
even put gas in his car. He hasn't gone grocery shop in probably 10 years. Anything that doesn't add value to his life, he outsources to somebody.
Yeah.
But
And that is only because I'm able to be successful into what I'm doing because I did steps A, B, and C to get to this point. I wouldn't have been able to do this if I was still at A. But for anyone out there who just feels like they don't have it or they feel like, no, it's just do step A, hire yourself a coach, and you will be able to do everything else. It comes in time.
there's a journey that we've gone down, and so we can help direct you on what we've been through. That's why it's important to have somebody in the industry that you're in. Like, I'm not going to hire just a regular coach. I'm going to hire a specific social media coach or an SEO coach for SEO or leadership for leadership. And so that's where you have to go into. Like, if you own a salon, there's certain areas you want to really focus on. And a lot of coaches, they don't focus on it. They focus on bullshit. And so you make sure you get a good person. But something that I don't think you got coached on that you had to figure out for yourself, but you probably took pieces from everybody, dealing with China, dealing with like manufacturers, dealing with like a shipment coming in, because I know you take each extension that comes in and you examine it, right?
Every single one.
And so
Yep.
from trying to call a factory in China from just a little salon owner in Massachusetts, take us through that, because you can't just go into Yellow Pages or Google best hair manufacturer in the world.
Yeah.
Like, this is like a lot of work.
It really is. I got screwed quite a few times. Now I have hundreds of manufacturers in my DMs because obviously they see my social media, but I tried to find a couple different backups. And I would order the same wefts and I'd be like, this is how I need them. These are the grams. And they would send them to me and it would cost me like $10,000 to be able to like get different colors, get different lengths, different textures. And man, they'll promise you everything and it's it's hard. It is hard. Like when people are like, "Oh, I can get those from Alibaba." I'm like, "Absolutely. Go on, order them, but I'll be talking to you in about 2 weeks because one, you might not get your order. Two, the quality is not there." But even
Think about,
two,
like,
like
what makes quality, like what makes an extension so valuable, like why your hair, like what makes you want to choose your factory over another factory, like what's that like differentiating factor that you're like, this is
what a
the best
lot of
brand?
what a lot of people don't understand and realize how extensions are made. I think that is the biggest misconception up there. I've had stylists in my classes that I'm like, you need to wash the hair extensions before installing. I'm talking about wefts, and they're like, I've been to $2,000-3,000 classes and they never told us that. And I'm like, what? Hair expands by 20 to 30%. A lot of people don't know that a lot of extensions go through bath washes. This is why before they color them, they put them through acid washes. And now you're sitting there trying to color them with ammonia. This is why it's breaking off. People don't realize that the lightest color has to come from black hair. So the darkest color, they put it
I
through
had no idea.
5 or 6 steam baths in order to be able to get them light.
Hold on, so they steam bath like level 1 hair in order to get a blonde. Why don't they use blonde hair? Like,
Because
skin, it's too delicate.
because it's too light and they have to, in order for the fabric dyes to be able to soak into the hair, they need to make sure that it's high heat enough to be able to hold the color with the fabric dye.
So they
That's
use
why when people
fabric
are
dye.
like that, most hair extensions are made with fabric dyes. Mine are made with fabric dyes. They are soaked in acid baths. So when you go and try to put bleach on them or color, it's going to fade out a lot quicker. So I think these are the things that are not spoken about. So a lot of people are like, well, this color faded, not with my brand, but this color faded so fast. And I was like, okay. And I'll ask them, well, where's the hair
Not with
made
my
of?
brand.
Not with my brands. I got that. I did my research and my homework. A lot of people don't understand too that a lot of these companies are doing real hair and synthetic hair. That's why they're getting them so cheap. So they go to curl it, the curl's not lasting because there's half synthetic in there, or it
So when
burns off.
you said hair expands when it gets wet. So if you install a fresh row of hair and then it mixes with your regular hair and it expands, is that why a lot of hair gets tangly?
Exactly. Tangly, greasy, the hair slips out. I went into a TikTok battle with thousands of hairdressers a couple weeks ago because they're like, I don't wash the hair because my return is not valid if the color doesn't match my client's hair. I said, well, geez, let's think about that. First of all, how was your consultation if your color was not matching? And there's silicones. When they're coming from China, it needs to go through so many different processes in so many different hands. They have to put that in some sort of plastic wrap. So if it's in sunlight, it's exposed to straight sunlight or anything like that, it's not going to fade. So it needs protection. So if somebody is putting those directly into somebody's hair, that silicone, your haircut, first of all, no one's hair looks this shiny. This is not washed. No one's hair looks like that. So when you go to cut it and you're trying to do a normal person textured hair with silicone, what's going to happen? Your haircut's going to not be even. Those people are never going to be able to wear their hair straight. So it really is about doing your research. So when I'm educating a hairstylist, they are getting from A to Z. I don't hide anything. There's nothing to hide.
Well, I want to talk social media because you brought that up and you're a battle on TikTok. First off, drop your handle on Instagram for anyone watching. Your Instagram handle. Yeah, what is it?
Malia, Malia.
And yours.
Extensions. And mine is Dimilouro.
And you are on TikTok too? Same thing on
I
TikTok?
am. Yep, Malia extensions.
Okay. And your personal one on TikTok?
Dimilouro, yep.
All right, cool. So here's the deal, everyone. Part of her success is made off the back end of how authentic her social media is. You are you.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know, like we're on a show right now, so we're kind of like a little reserved, but you are you on your social media. So as an extension line, you speak with a lot of authority and you're very convincing on your beliefs. And so that brings a lot of hate. Do you see a lot of hate every now and then? Or you get
I
more love?
definitely
Like,
do. Not as much. I do have a great support system, but I think it's the ego in hairdressers. Like, I don't need to wash the hair extensions. Well, you're using a big brand that I know tells you and that their hair expands by 30 to 35%. So who didn't teach you? Did they not teach you? Or are you just a lazy hairstylist that's not washing the hair? So now your client is watching the same exact TikTok and now being like, my hairstylist never washes the hair. So this is like the things with hairdressers that it's so hard. I'm not for everyone and I'm okay with that. My brand's not for everyone and that's okay. But
what was your psychology, like your mindset, I should say, to start making content the way you are? Because if you scroll back far enough, you look at your content, it was non-existent. And then all of a sudden it was you. Like it took you a while. So a lot of people have to understand, you're going to put a camera in front of your face and you're going to suck. It's not going to be you. You're not going to be natural, but you picked it up really quick and you became you on camera relatively fast, faster than the average person. So help someone right now. You got a young stylist. She wants to get busy behind the chair and she knows social media is going to be the gateway or pathway to that. What do you have to say to her?
first, be yourself for sure. I literally am the same person 24. I don't go on camera always with makeup. I look like crap. It is what it is, but it's me. That's how I am. Sometimes my hair is done, sometimes it's not. And what I would do is I have these thoughts in my head that I need to get out. So I would take a camera and I would put it in front of me and I would just start talking to the camera. Didn't even make sense half the time. But then I would go in and I would edit what I was really trying to say. Cause I'm one of those people that wants to say so much. But if you are not putting yourself in front of a camera and really having who you're talking to understand and hearing the truth, you might think it's stupid, like, oh, nobody else has these problems. But trust me, the problems that you may be having, you may be able to help somebody else. So that's why for me, I would just get in front of the camera and I would just be like spitballing everything. But then at the end of the day, it made sense to a lot of people. And the biggest thing that I get when I am meeting all these stylists now, especially going to different states all the time, is you really are you. Like, I love how real and authentic and you say it how it is. I think it's important. You
It
can't
is.
show up somewhere and not be you, or people not know what your face is like, or all of a sudden you're like done up to the nines, but they've never, like, you have to be yourself all the
Be
time.
authentically you. You have to be.
Yeah.
Were you
Yeah.
nervous at first?
Oh my God, nervous. I'd be like, I hated my voice. Um, yeah, I always felt like I had to be like prim and proper, but I'm not prim and proper. I'm from Boston. Like half the other words, I'm like swearing, my accent, my hands are going, see? It's just like, no, I wasn't. But then now when I do it, it's so natural. Put me in front of anyone and I'm just like, and I know my shit, I believe in what I am selling, but I don't have to sell it to you. If you do not like what I'm saying and what I'm giving you, I'm just giving you the facts. If you don't like my facts, we're not meant to be. You're the girl you sent me the other day from Boston.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say her name, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was on the phone with her and she asked me where my hair's from. And I was like, oh, it's from Western China. She's like, I'm so sorry. I don't like the hair from China. I said, absolutely. I completely understand. Best of luck. If you ever want me to swing on by, let me know. She's like, I appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
Done.
That's
Am
it.
I mad? No. Is it going to hold me back? No.
Someone's someone's messaging me about coaching, and they're like, well, I'm trying this coach, or I'm looking at this coach, or I'm seeing who's the best fit. Try him.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to try and convince you to go to
I
my
never
Instagram,
convince anyone. Exactly.
scroll. If I'm your cup of tea, have a sip. If
Yeah.
not, test them out and come to me when nothing works.
Exactly. That's how I feel. That's why even with like telling someone how to like take care of something or the extensions, like if you don't like it, don't do it. I'm fine with that. I'm just letting you know from my experience that I've been doing it for a long time. I've noticed there's a difference between not washing the hair and washing the hair. So I just think that don't hold back ever. Just
Be
be
you.
you and just talk. Talk about anything. Even if people think you're crazy, maybe somebody's gonna like your craziness.
We got to get Bree on here next time we do a podcast.
She's so mad. She was booked today. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm so mad that you set this up. But yeah,
We'll
she's
do it
my
again.
other
We're gonna
stick
get
on
around.
it.
Actually,
Yeah.
when you're down here, because I'm probably gonna have you do a class in here too
Yeah, I
at
was
the
gonna talk to you about
salon.
that. I
I
love
want you
that.
to bring
Yeah.
Bree. We'll do it live in studio.
Yeah.
Real quick before we wrap things up.
Yeah.
You have an interesting beginning to life, like post high school, right? And so there's a lot of people who get told that why are you doing hair? You're better than that, or this industry, you're not going to make it. We get told by a lot of people who don't know shit about who we really are and what we can
Mhm.
really achieve. And so I'm sure there's a young man or a young lady out there who's been listening to that from family or friends. They may be like, school's not for them. And they're like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. They might be interested in hair, they might not be. But I want to learn more about Demetra, high school years, like that little leap of faith you took to start doing hair.
I'm a high school dropout. I dropped out in my junior year. I hated school. I was always street smart. I was never book smart. And my parents, I remember, told me, if I sign these papers to drop out, you better make yourself of something. Well, hair school, because I thought it was going to be so easy. I'm like, I'm going to hair school. As that typical teenager, always being out and about, drinking, just being stupid. And here I am today trying to grow a multi-million dollar business. Like, don't let anybody ever hold you down. If you want something, you are the only person that can create that hustle. I knew I was a hustler. I knew I had it in me. And it was just one of those things where it was like everything just started to click. But there's so much more than just doing hair behind the chair. This industry, there's so many different avenues, especially now with working with behind the chair and being able to get brand deals. It's not just about hair. But if you are in hair school, start now. Your typical life in the behind the scenes and being in school, even for people that are here right out of hair school after a year or
Document that
whatnot.
journey, document everything. Watch the evolution on your social media. Look at Gary Vee.
Right. People want to know. They want to know what you're doing. That is where my story, people are always like so interested in what I'm doing. I'm like, it's really not that cool, but they love it because it's something that, just like when we're looking at Instagram and we're following these people's story, you need to create your own. You never know what people are going to see. I got casted for a TV show because of that.
That's
I got
awesome.
approached for that.
I
So
want to drive home this one thing that people may not be picking up right now.
sure.
You never let your past, being a dropout, define who you were and where you're going. And
Yeah.
so many of us have labels that people put on us, and we think it's a fact. We let it define who we are. And you never, ever let that happen to you. So
No.
anyone listening right now, if someone puts a label on you, it's not the truth. It's not the label. You don't have to wear it. You could break through any limitation that somebody has on you when you truly live with passion and you live with your greatest excitement. And that's what you're doing right now. And a
Yeah,
lot of people don't.
cancel out that noise. Those people that ever tell you that, I know our parents do sometimes, stay in your own tunnel and just prove them wrong if that's what it has to take, because there was a lot of people that did doubt me. Like, not my parents, but there definitely were. I remember different stories and different scenarios like, oh, you dropped out. Now I'm just
Yeah.
laughing my way and just doing what I love and supporting other stylists and just loving life.
Yeah. The the question I asked new stylists when they join my team: what experiences do you want to have in life? And what kind of person do you need to become to make those experiences possible? And so you became that person, and then now look at the experience you're having.
Yeah.
So you
And
got
if
to do,
there's
become
ups
the
and
person.
downs, there's ups and downs. It's okay. There's been a lot of times I've cried. There's been a lot of times I've had zero money in the bank. But when you surround yourself with good supporting people and they have your visions and believe in you, anything can happen. All my people around me, if I don't gain something from them, we there's no way. Like, you can't even get on a call with me if you're not a positive person.
Well, part of your success is the fact that you have a vision so big, it fits your team's vision in it, and they feel supported by you. So owners out there, if you constantly lose people, it's probably because your vision's not big enough. And the people who you're losing have a bigger vision than you. It's
Right.
time to think a little bigger.
Right.
The fact that you are having the thought processes of being a multi-million dollar company, global extension company, that's huge.
Yeah.
And you know what? If it doesn't excite you anymore and you want to stay just in the US, you could. But
Yeah.
you're built for success across the globe. And if you want it, you can have it. So,
You really can.
all right.
Definitely.
Any final notes to tell these young stylists, give them some inspiration, some motivation, where they can find you? How can someone get you in their salon to present your hair, the opportunity vehicle that your extension line can give to their salon? Just take us through how people can get in touch with you,
Sure.
find you.
Absolutely. Best way to do it is just on Instagram, Malia Extensions, Malia. Follow me. You can send me a DM. We are doing a cross country tour right now. I think we have 9 states left. 15-minute install. You can keep these as a luxury service or even as, a service just for somebody who just wants to make a little extra money. But this install super easy. Look at this. Double. You pull some hair through those holes, aluminum silicone bead, done, 15 minutes. It's incredible. Don't ever
9 states left. That's
yeah, you
awesome.
can do whatever you got to do with these. Great for brides, anything. But yeah, I can host in your salon. I'm hoping Nick has me in his in Jersey. So check us out. We have all of the states that we're going to be in the next 8 weeks.
Is it on your website?
And it's on the website. Everything's on maliaextensions.com. But anytime anybody needs me, catch me on IG. I'm usually always there. It's me answering all the questions. I am my brand. It's me. So anything you need, I'm there. I hope to
Mitra,
see everybody.
it's been amazing watching this journey from salon owner stuck behind the chair, juggling everything, getting this brand started, and then watching it just happen the way it has.
Even the other
Amazing.
day, I got home from that huge meeting and you were like one of my top people I messaged. I'm like, I got the deal. And even
Yeah.
remember my first deal. I don't know. I'm always going back to Nick, just being like, I got this deal because he really has helped me. And I thank you really that you even sometimes just hop on the phone with me just to help me out with a little problem. You've never said no to me. So it's more than just coaching. It's creating friendships. It's creating a network and connections. And I thank you too.
This is
so
all about
much.
community.
It really is.
This industry saved my life, and so it's my duty to pay it back.
Yeah, no, I love that. I thank you so much. I thank everybody who watched today. Anything you need extension wise, even if you have questions, never hesitate to reach out.
And she's
here.
not just extensions, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you watch her Instagram, there's solid business advice there.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna leave a doom scroll on her page a much better owner, extension artist, hairstylist, hop on her Instagram and just scroll around.
Thank you, Nick. I
welcome,
appreciate
Demetra.
that. I've worked really hard. So
Yeah, you're crushing
Anybody
it.
can
I
do
love
it.
seeing it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's
Thank
it
you.
for today. I will see you on Monday, or maybe I'll hop on a live tomorrow too. James, we're going to wrap it up. You got anything to add?
Great show.
All right, guys.
Follow Demetra.
Thank
Good job.
you. Thanks, everyone.
James is stoned, everybody, so don't mind him.
I am not actually.
Dimitri, you can stay on for a second. Just
Okay,
take us
cool.
live, James.